Hello, and a very warm welcome to everyone to this Onepoint Oneness session. My name is Els, and for those of you who join us for the first time, let me give you a little bit of a background. Several of us working for Onepoint have been meditating for many years, and the meditation we practice is called Raja Yoga. It's the yoga of the mind. I myself have been meditating for several years now, and I must say that this practice has really helped me, not only in my personal life, but also in my professional life. So at a particular moment, the idea came that why not to share some of these ideas with a wider audience? And so since May, I think it was 2020, we started this project. And every fortnight now, we have a speaker, an experienced meditator, and we ask him or her to share their ideas about a particular topic, but also to guide us into a short meditation. So far, we have had more than 85 guest speakers, not only from the UK, but internationally. And the sessions are always recorded and they are available on YouTube. Today, I'm very pleased to welcome Sonja Ohlsson, who joins us from Denmark. Sonja has been meditating for many years. She is a meditation teacher at the prison services in Denmark, but she's also a core team member of the Environmental Initiative, which was established in 2009, mainly to raise the awareness of the importance of the environment. She has been attending several United Nations climate change conferences, not only as a participant, but also as a speaker, including the recent COP26 conference in Scotland, that was November last year. Sonja is based in Copenhagen and she runs the local meditation center in that city. So very, very warm welcome to Sonja. And the topic for today is my journey towards a sustainable lifestyle.
So good morning from Copenhagen to everybody. And thank you, Els, for the introduction. And I thought I'll share my personal journey with you this morning. And I also think that we all have a longing or inclination to a natural life. Natural is actually the same as sustainable, isn't it? And if we ask around what is important to people, most of us would say, well, it's time with family and friends, and it is time in nature. With family and friends, we get love, we feel loved, we can give love, and time in nature for many gives peace and relaxation. And my own personal journey actually goes way back to my childhood. I was brought up in Sweden and my parents are farmers. And some of my happiest memories as a child would be to walk around in the forest and collecting flowers, and I used to dry them and make my own kind of little book where I gave the name to all the dried flowers. And there on the countryside, everyone has a very down-to-earth life or attitude. Not to complicate things too much or not to try to make it to something else, which is not. So their winter is winter. And if it's a cold winter, it's a cold winter. And summer is summer. And it is what it is. And I think this kind of life has supported me a lot as an adult. But I wanted to try city life when I was young. So I couldn't move away from the countryside fast enough. So when I was 16, I moved to a smaller city. And when I was 18, I moved to the capital in Stockholm. And a few years later, I moved to London. And now I live in, since 35 years, I live in Copenhagen, Denmark. But when I was 24, I learned meditation with the Brahma Kumaris, and I started my inner spiritual journey. It took some years before I learned the art to connect my inner spiritual journey with the world out there, and to make my spirituality relevant to issues happening on the political or society topics. And as Elle said in her introduction, in 2009, there was a critical international UN conference here in Copenhagen, COP15. Some of you might remember it, because politically it was a failure. They tried to renew the Kyoto Protocol, but they weren't successful. And Brahma Kumaris in Copenhagen, we decided to start the Brahma Kumaris Environment Initiative. And we got accredited by the UN to participate as an organization. And then I had to get deeper knowledge on what's happening to our planet. And I must say it was a bit of a cold shower or a wake up to realize the state of the world and actually the state of the climate in detail. But equally, it was also a kind of deep wake-up call to realize how much my thoughts actually affects the world around me, how much my thoughts affect the nature and the environment. And of course, as we know, and many of us have experienced, when the course of my life, when the understanding changes, the course of our life also changes as a consequence of that. So I had a deeper understanding of the connection between mind and matter, how my thought not only influenced the body and my family and my workplace, but in the larger scale, the whole planet. And so I took interest in living a life which would cause less harm to the natural world. And therefore I had to change some habits. And the feel-good factor in changing some of my habits, that's amazing. And I want to share some of those habits with you in case it can inspire you. But first of all, eating organic food and eating vegan food as much as possible have added a totally different dimension to cooking and to eating, and it has expanded the universe and the creativity of what you can do with food and cooking. And the joy in that is deeper than before. And also before, I never used to buy secondhand clothes. I never went to a flea market to buy some dress or anything. Maybe I had an attitude, it was a bit, what to say, dirty or something. But it's changed. Now I go to flea markets and I get fantastic clothes for no money. And the joy of reusing things is such a deep joy and very nourishing for the spirit. And then of course I realized I have too many things and too many gadgets, and I started to give away more. I give things to friends, to colleagues, to collections, to various charities. And the joy of giving there, of course, is also nourishing for the spirit. So in a way, my inner life has become much more richer by this lifestyle. And a natural lifestyle do have less complications, and therefore it gives you more time at hand. And that time I use nowadays to spend outdoors. I go for long walks. Even though I live in the city here, Copenhagen, I can go for a walk by the canal or by the seaside. And those long walks is actually enhancing my spirituality and my meditation. And I feel healthier. And when you feel healthier in your body, then also the meditation and the inner life feels healthier. And I learned to stop up, take a deep breath, and I look at the sky, and I enjoy the clouds, and I enjoy the moment, and I live in that moment, and it's just fantastic. So the wonder of the moment, the wonder of now, the wonder of connecting to nature, to the sea or to the plants, etc. That is very enriching and enhancing. And with my friends, I take inspiration from them, from friends and colleagues, how they recycle and reuse things. And that has added another dimension to our relationships. It has brought more harmony and it has brought more depth. And we all know that whatever we do in life, if relationships are working, everything else is also working. Actually, also in business, the bottom line often reflects the relationship in the place you work. So that's very crucial. So I can say thank you to a sustainable lifestyle for that. And finally, before we go to meditation, now maybe some 25 years ago, I took a course in inner leadership. And I learned to use the values and purpose, not only for the company where I work, but for my inner life. So I identified the purpose and the values of my life as a whole. And long time back, I thought, what's the purpose of my existence? What do I really like to give to others? And one word came to mind, and that was hope. So I often find myself in places where I give natural kind of hope to others. At the moment, I'm working in the prison. There's a lot of hope needed there. And before that, I used to work as a nurse, and that's also a lot of hope there. And when one has identified the purpose, one also can see ahead into future which kind of situations one will end up in. For example, if you're a doctor and you identify your purpose as healing and treating sickness, you know you will, your whole lifetime you will spend with people who have illnesses or are sick and need treatment and healing. And you wouldn't question why I'm always surrounded by sick people, because you've chosen it. And then I realized the same thing happened with hope. Now I ended up in the most hopeless situation of all, and that is to create a sustainable planet, because the tendency and the statistics on climate change is not looking good. So here I am, and we have to keep hope. We have to work together, and all of us have to change our lifestyle and make it less polluting and make our carbon footprint as small as possible. And meditation helps, and stopping up, enjoying the moment helps a lot. So that's my personal journey. And I thought we could bring up some of these thoughts in a meditation. So I'll invite all of you to a meditation now, and I think we'll have a different picture to look at. Yes. So I invite all of you to sit back and relax. Take a deep breath to the bottom of my stomach. And when I breathe in, I'm reminded of the fact that I'm breathing the same air as everybody else on this planet. We are forever connected. And when I breathe out, I let go of tension, disappointment, or any stress that's lingering in my breath or in my body. And I relax the body. I relax my legs, my stomach, relax my arms and my neck. And I relax my face, the muscles in the forehead, the muscles around my mouth. And I prepare to turn my mind within. I remind myself that I'm much more than this body. I'm much more than my gender or nationality. I'm much more than my performance. Deep inside, I'm a peaceful being of light. So I stay with that thought for a while. That deep inside, I'm a peaceful being of light. And I relax. And I relax a bit more. I value this precious moment. A few minutes with my own self to nourish the spirit, to relax. We can bring our thoughts to nature. Maybe all of us can remember how it is to walk barefoot and feel the grass under our feet, sometimes dry, sometimes a bit wet from the morning dew. Maybe remember the grass under your feet, You stop for a while and take a deep breath. And enjoy the wonder of this planet. Can remember whatever you like in nature. Some people like swimming or walking in the mountains or watching birds. Whatever it is, it will remind me of this amazing planet that we all share as our common home. It will remind me how fantastic it is that I'm part of this interconnected world, part of all the living beings living here. Being part of the world family on Mother Earth also means responsibility. To accept my responsibility of living on this planet. And I start by sending good wishes. Good vibrations, peaceful vibrations to Mother Earth. I hold Mother Earth in my hands and I say I'm sorry for the harm I have caused. And I hold her in my hands and embrace her with peace and love and responsibility. And I can visualize how a natural, sustainable life would look like for me in the future. Natural, simple, sharing, joyful. And with these thoughts, I prepare to finish my meditation. Take another deep breath. Close my eyes And pay attention to how it feels like to be me right now. How it is to include Mother Earth in my meditation in this way. And we take another deep breath and say Om Shanti and come back from our meditation. And yes, I hope you enjoyed that meditation, and maybe you can take inspiration from that in the future. And otherwise, I would say thank you to all of you for sharing this morning with me, and hope to see you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Sonja. A very beautiful meditation experience, but also for sharing your own experience, your journey towards a sustainable lifestyle. And what I particularly liked is how you explained that giving is actually nourishing the soul, nourishing your spirit. I think that is a very important lesson that we can all learn, that happiness is actually in giving. And also, like, of course, the world is going through a very challenging time at the moment. You know, giving hope, giving happiness and peace to the world is so important in our daily lives. So thank you for sharing that insight and your experience. And I also liked the fact that you explained how thoughts have actually an impact on matter. There's more and more scientific proof of that now. So that is so important to also be aware of that. Okay, thanks everyone for joining us today. Thanks to the technical team. Next Oneness session is going to be on the 8th of April, and we have Lotta Artman from Sweden joining us for that session. Okay, bye-bye.